what is your meditation practice look like right now? No matter where you're at, by you choosing to kind of come and sit, like, that's beautiful, right? That's even if this is literally the first meditation you do, right? Or if it's the 15,000th meditation, by choosing to sit with other women, there's an energy that we can create. There is something that can be so supportive and so transformative. And it's not just my words. It's not just me guiding. Like, yes, I will guide you, you know, but every person who's here, you're contributing to the energy that we will be experiencing. The beauty of this practice is that the more that you do, the more that you do it, the more that you sit, or the more that you move, as even Roberta was saying, in just complete awareness and complete presence, because that's what it is. It's about trying to go and observe when you are starting to go towards a past or a future thought. When you're observing what the emotions might be coming up and how they might be shifting. It's an observation of what is occurring at present within yourself. And the beauty is that as you continue to observe, usually what will happen over time is that those things may start to slow down, right? So those like fluctuations of the thought, those fluctuations of the emotions may start to soften the intensity of how much is going on. And then through that softening effect, through that slowing down effect, there may actually be these odd pauses. And these pauses will start to expand, these kind of places of just kind of nothing. And nothing, it's interesting, we've been taught a lot of times to be afraid of the dark, to be afraid of that space, right? That place where there might not be thought. But the beauty in that space is that actually that is where everything lies. And I hope that we'll be able to access even just a couple moments of space and see how that can assist you in getting clear. And really, I was getting all day today. Well, it's pretty early still in Toronto, but as soon as I was up, I was like, the first meditation you're guiding, Josie, is one of clarity, is one of getting clear, of one of us really clarifying what our intention is going forward. I did ask prior to this session in the email for you to look at and see what may be arising within your life, what you may be wishing to place into the world, be it in creation, you actually doing something, or be it that you stepping back from something, be it that you align with deeper and a deeper understanding of what your path is. Maybe it is a focus. So today, I'll ask you just to find a seat now, find one that is comfortable. And as I truly understand that some of you may not be sitting for as long as we may be sitting for on a regular basis, if at any time the discomfort of your spine, shoulders, just keeping your head upright becomes too much, I would recommend then just to lie down after, right? And you will still receive, right? But try to start upright. There is actually something really special and powerful in that alignment of feeling kind of chakra energy centers, setting up kind of to the poles, right, of that north-south type of sensation. I'm hearing there's just a bit of feedback on some of yours, so I'll ask as well. Don't know who's shuffling and moving around, just to maybe put the sound a little bit lower or even on mute. So then that way we can have, yes, silence. And once you've found the seat that feels right for you, just take a moment and if it's cross-legged or not, like I'm actually sitting in a chair, which is a great place to do. I know Roberta is actually sitting on a ball. Hardcore, I love you. You know, so whatever is feeling right, try to connect towards your feet to begin with, and just wiggling your toes, giving some motion in towards the ankles, and just feeling, first bringing a lot of like movement into them, because they're going to, those are the areas that are going to fall asleep first if they don't get that initial movement, if they don't get that initial connection. And then once you kind of wiggle in towards the feet and towards the heels, into the ankles, right? Start to then, you can close your eyes. And get in connection now towards where your pelvis is placed. So I want you to just kind of sense, are you tending to fall a little bit farther back? Are you tending to draw and tilt the front of your pelvis forward? You know, nothing is wrong, right? But it's just now just starting to sense, maybe if you can bring more weight onto your left hip, bring more weight onto your right hip, bringing more weight to the left hip again. More weight to the right. I'm just feeling kind of this gentle rocking motion. Tilting your pelvis forward, feeling like you're more towards the front of your pubic bone. Tilting your pelvis back. Feeling the back of your hips drop down. And just tilting forward again. And tilting back. Tilting to the left hip. Just seeing really gentle circles. And they don't have to be very grandiose movements. It's more so you just really starting to connect to your root, because we are seated. And then just changing even the direction of the circle. Challenging yourself to even slow down that movement even more. Changing the direction of the circle once again. Of course, this will bring you an awareness to your breath. And so now finding that plumb space between, that space that feels right, that you're not tilting too far forward, too far back, too much weight to the left, too much weight to the right, just somewhere in that center, somewhere that just feels okay for you today. And then bringing your awareness to your breath. We tend to breathe in and out through the nose within meditation. But know again, the breath is your tool. The breath is the key to all of this work. So honor whatever you need to do to connect to that breath. Be it at sometimes that you breathe out through your mouth. Be it sometimes that you breathe deeper, sometimes that you breathe softer. It is the, almost like the charioteer, it's the one that is going to be guiding your energy. And so it is actually one of the deepest keys to meditation, is that first connecting towards that breath. And if ever your mind wavers or the emotions waver within, it's just to come back to that breath. That is your safe space. And as you connect to the breath, I'd like you to allow your belly to become really, really soft. Don't even worrying about, I know some of you have incredible practices, so you may come right into a very strong posture to begin with. Don't even worry as much about the upper body at this time. Allow your belly to be very soft. We're taught as women most of the time to just stand with a deep tension in the core, even at the beginning when we don't really need to have that. So as you let your belly relax, this might feel very odd and this might bring up some things, and that's okay. And now just begin to take some deep full breaths into your belly. You can count to 3 as you do so. Just breathing in for 3 and breathing out for 3. Start to become aware of the force behind the inhalation, that thing that brings air in, that intention, that focus of your body and all of those workings to draw something into you. But then see the exact opposite in the exhale. This deep softening, this releasing, this emptying effect. There is no force required except for just that initial desire to go, okay, I will let it out. The very beginning of the exhale. It's the only place where there may be a little force. And of course, as you continue to breathe, doing these counts, you can start to just encounter that pause in between the inhale and the exhale, and in between the exhale and the inhale. That pause at the top of the inhale, being at the fullest point of your breath. Almost a holding, a containing of your fullness. And at the end of the exhale, the scariest point of all, that pure empty point where there actually is no more air. So you cannot hold anything. You just have to actually completely release. And in that complete release, again, drawing that intention to initiate your inhale. So I'll just guide you now through a count of 3, but then having and a lengthening that pause. And as you do so, just start to observe whatever might be coming up, whatever words, whatever thoughts, whatever feelings. So exhaling all of your air to begin. And inhaling for 1, 2, 3, hold. Exhaling for 1, 2, 3, hold. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, hold. Exhaling for 1, 2, 3, hold. Inhaling for 1, 2, 3, hold. Exhaling for 1, 2, 3, release. Allowing your breathing to come back to normal. And just becoming aware now of how that normal may have shifted. honoring if there is any anxieties or fears or sensations that come up. For as we connect to that space, as I said, we sometimes dive into those uncertainties. And honor as well if there is no uncertainties, and just sweet, I can do it, which is even another part of going past the ego and connecting into that softening of those edges. And now you may be becoming aware very much of your shoulders. And so allowing your shoulders to lift up and even draw back just a bit. You can bring some movement into them. You've been softening one ear to one shoulder, coming back to center, softening the other ear to another shoulder, coming back to center. The next time you draw your head back up to center, see now if you can lengthen your breath so that you're drawing from the belly, from that deep space all the way up and towards the heart center. You'll feel your ribs expand. And then soften. And as your ribs expand and soften, and all these different pulses of your physical body occur that you can pay attention to, just discover where you are naturally bringing your inhale towards. What is the directional element of that inhalation? Meaning, is that breath drawing towards the front of your chest? So drawing up, directly up to your throat. Is it drawing towards the back of your chest? And now that you've kind of come to an awareness of those 3 points, see if you can visualize that your breath is drawing not just to the front of your chest, but also to the back of your chest. And maybe even tenting upwards towards your throat. And on the exhalation, again, after that initial choice to let go, just feeling how it naturally draws, softening back and towards the belly. You can turn your palms to face out, resting your hands to your thighs, allowing your elbows to relax. And here, just allowing yourself now to tune in. I'll be sounding the sound of a bowl, which will just release whatever has already risen. You can allow your tongue to curl to the roof of your mouth, your jaw to relax, and your cheeks to relax, your forehead to soften. In this space, become aware of all the sounds that are around you. All those things that could actually be thought of as distractions. Reminding yourself to always breathe. And just to observe. And just to listen fully to every single sound that is around you. Every sound that brings your attention or is brought to your attention. And continue to breathe in, accepting it as part of the experience. And continue to breathe out. Realize that you're still able to be present, even without complete silence. You're able to still choose to be here fully. And actually, by experiencing all that is part of this moment at this time, you are actually practicing being here right now. As you become aware of all those sounds, see if you can really listen clearly. Allow your ears to open and see if you can hear your sound. And see how your sound is part of the sounds around you. Or this is part of your experience at this moment in time. And now become aware of the emotions, the things that you are feeling right now. All of those feelings that have come with you into the seat. As they say, the good, the bad, the ugly. Just let yourself fully feel every sensation, every moment of you. And if one becomes really big, just let it get really big. Just let it become the focal point. Let yourself feel discomfort. Let yourself feel uncertainty, frustration, sadness, fullness, just okay. And just continue to breathe as you let it get large. And then just allow yourself to listen. Once again, listening to your sound that is behind those emotions. What do those emotions need to tell you today? Just let them speak, let them be the messengers they are meant to be. After they have spoken, you'll see that they potentially begin to dissipate or shift. Maybe they change to another emotion that you then need to, again, just let get very large and then listen to them. Let them take center stage. Or maybe they begin to release and you feel this sense of emptiness. And so that is when you wish to bring in the intention to bring with that inhalation, even if you literally just need to say the word because you can't actually access the sensation at this moment in time, it is bringing in the word of love. And just breathing in love and breathing out love. Just feeling it with the breath, or simply just thinking it with your words within your mind. Breathing love into that space. Feeling grateful for the capacity to sit, to listen, to observe. Or now you may come across your mind. See, as we put one word in there, as we put one thought there, it actually almost like triggered us to think more thoughts. To actually start to allow now yourself to really experience your mind. To just listen to all that chatter or lack of chatter. And sometimes thoughts, if this is, it's neat, we speak of how much we think, but sometimes it's weird to observe thinking. So it may come within words or even symbols, even visuals. Sometimes they're actually thoughts. Might look like pictures in your mind. Just depends on how you think. Might look like a little TV show or a newscaster just spouting out information. So really just begin to observe these thoughts. Some of them may be good, some of them may be annoying, some of them, the list goes on. See when maybe one is trying to trigger an emotional response, but just really go, I've dealt with my emotions. That's just their efforts, not mine. No need to play their game. If you play the game, that's okay too. Just go back to processing that feeling that arose. Let it get big, listen to it. And see if you can just let that play out, all these thoughts. Some of them may be those daydreaming thoughts, those ones of the future and all those incredible possibilities. All these things you wish to put into your life or to make happen. Wants, needs, desires, dreams, all of it. And some of those thoughts may be of past experiences that have just come up. Be it memories. It is also allowing yourself and your mind to wander. Seeing how things that you dream of may bring up things in your past. And then again, any of those memories or dreams, they may be emotionally charged. So they may bring up something for you again to feel and breathe into. And during all this deep work that you are doing while you are sitting in silence, this deep work of sensing what is occurring and observing and listening to your thoughts, your feelings, even your physical sensations. There may be little moments that seem to have no thought, no feeling, no charge. It's almost like it's just black. And because it doesn't have an emotional charge to it, it doesn't feel empty. Because it doesn't have an emotional charge to it, it doesn't feel scary. It just is. And then as you focus into that space, it may start to leave you and a thought or an emotion may come in. That's okay. And you just now know that you can just observe, listen until the space comes back. And it's not about just trying to get to the space because there's no end goal. No gold star, no blue ribbon. And in this space, in this dark, all that you have is just your breath. In this darkness, it is not death, it is life. That point zero, that point that comes before creation. That point that comes at the end of our exhalation. Can you just be in this space? And if a thought comes in, and if emotion comes in, you know what to do. Accept it. Allow it. And then when it's ready to slow down or to move through, you may get back to that space. There's no trying, for trying as a thought or an emotion. Just being. And in that being, you may start to sense with all your senses a greater or larger sensation that is beyond physicality, that becomes all. And if this is scary, you can remind yourself for a moment that, of course, there is still your house and your seat and everything as soon as your eyes open later. So not to worry. Just allow yourself to be here, playing between an emotion that rolls in, a thought that jumps in, and the space between. See when you may be over efforting. It might be in physical body or even mental or emotional body. Over efforting to remove sensations. And see if you can allow that over efforting to start to release. To let go of whatever that need may be. You can even ask yourself what that need is. And if it comes up in a feeling, then just let it get really full. Be the feeling of that even comes as a physical sensation. There might not even be a word to it. It might be just a pang or a pain or a flip in the heart and the hips and the back. Something that you may feel is actually trying to get you away from this being, but actually it is the being. It is what is past that. What is past that space is then all this deep place, this deep space within where you can start to shift things. When you can become the creator and shift, be it past hurts, memories, or present hurts, memories, feelings. Or future needs, desperations, irritations. And if you cannot get past thought or feeling, then it's always to come back to your breath. And just breathe into those spaces. Breathe into your being. Where you are doing this, you have chosen to do this because you are caring for yourself. You are sharing love with yourself. Visualize that love for self is by just below your left shoulder. There's this point. And it's the heart. Just a little over to the right. Bringing that thought back in towards your mind. And then bring your awareness over to just below your right shoulder. There's another point which you can breathe into, which is peace, which you may be sensing or experiencing at this moment in time. And so just feeling these 2 points of love and peace. Bless you. And then visualize as if there is a space between, there is a line that is coming and connecting that point of peace and that point towards love, creating this line. And then you can draw these 2 additional lines from those 2 points all the way up, just past the crown of your head, visualizing this triangle. It can be a beautiful color. You can let now all your visioning occur. Beautiful pink or magenta. It can be crystalline. It can be reflective. It can be glowing. As you're feeling peace and love at the base of that pyramid, and then drawing all the way up towards that point, past your crown, as high up as it feels right, where it meets, and just breathe into that space joy. And again, it might just be a word or a sensation or an image that will assist you in connecting to these. And just breathing and feeling the energy that you have created within your practice, that you're now allowing to morph and to transmute into things that serve you and fulfill you from the inside out. And just now bring your awareness to your left ring finger, and just give that ring finger just a little wiggle. And then draw that left ring finger towards your thumb and just press into that. And then do so, finding that same mudra or that same gesture with your right thumb towards your right ring finger. It's the second one beside your pinky. And this earth mudra, this connection to the ground, will start to bring your awareness deeper into your pelvis once again, and into your legs, into your feet. You can even bring a little wiggle once again to your toes. Even lifting and moving into the ankles, the heels, the knees. And then become aware of where you may have moved into the pelvis. And it's not about going, oh, I'm here again. Just honoring where that may be. And then just do the opposite. So if you're seated too far back into the pelvis, just tilt your pelvis forward for a couple breaths. Or if you're too far forward, tilt your pelvis back for a couple breaths. Because you may have been still in there for a very long time. And then again, just pressing into your left hip. and then into your right. And see now, as you bring more awareness into your physical body, that you're just making these movements a bit more dramatic, starting to make those full circles with your pelvis. And as you make them more dramatic, you may start to make them in towards, actually, you'll feel your spine start to move and your ribs start to move and your shoulders start to move. Like you're making these lovely roller coaster movements with your whole being. And then even changing the circle. Feel like you're moving through, stretching into the side of your ribs, moving your ribs forward, moving your ribs back, opening your throat, moving your head, moving your shoulders. Seeing how your breath is working as you do so. Bring some dramatic movements as you lift your shoulders up to your ears and then softening them down. Same thing, lifting them up as high as they can and then softening them, letting them fall. Even bringing some gentle movement of your shoulders back and forth, just feeling like you're shaking your torso to the right and to the left. And then from there, bringing movement into your hands, letting your fingers expand, your wrists begin to move, your elbows begin to move, until you can even reach your arms all the way up overhead. Just getting a nice deep stretch. Interlocking your fingers and even pressing your palms to face up. Enjoying your breath. Enjoying the feeling of your body. Becoming aware of those outer sounds. And then reaching your hands into Anjali Mudra towards the center of your forehead. And just take a moment to honor your inner guidance. For that is what this practice will bring more of. Your intuitive sense. That knowing that you cannot explain. That guidance then that also comes potentially through that space that is truly coming from the heart. So drawing your hands towards the center of that heart. And thanking for yourself to choose to listen to your heart and give yourself this gift of time. Beautiful thing is, recently I heard from a South Asian yoga teacher where this practice comes from, of the true work and meaning of the word namaste, and how that there really is no I in it. That it literally just means in reverence or in deep gratitude, deep bowing, that reverence to you, te. And that they use it in actually in greeting more than in releasing. And then I thought of that in sharing this deep reverential honoring of you, why I still sometimes bring it and say it, what may feel like the end of something, is because we have gone to and done all this work to get to this point where I truly feel and sense and see you. Sometimes it takes a while to get there. So at this moment, in reverence to you, I say namaste. Then you can rub your hands towards each other, creating some heat. And if you haven't opened your eyes already, just bringing them in front of your face, allowing yourself to feel the connection of those deep, grateful hands that do all of this work for others and bringing all this love out to the world and just pressing them into you. And then slowly as you open your eyes, just you can gently even look up to the sky and down to the ground, and then over to the left and over to the right, and just becoming aware once again of the beauty of your surroundings, this space, this home that you have created to be your best sense and self. And I get to see some of you too. Oh. Thank you so much for choosing to sit with me today. And I'm just going to sound the bowl just to do one last kind of clearing. And then I will end the recording, but we'll stay on if we wish to chat a little bit. You're always welcome to bring some questions up. I'll let them always be kind of the question and answer period, more private. That's what I'm getting. So I will turn the recording off. And then if ever there is any conversation after, I'm here. Okay. And that is the end of the first meditation for the circle. Thank you all so much for taking the time